political panel, Democratic strategist Hank Scheinkoff, Diana West with the Washington Times, and in Miami, Miguel Perez, syndicated columnist. Let's get into the immigration issue. It seems like it's going to be a big one in the presidential race. And we have Senator Mel Martinez this week blasting the two presidential frontrunners, Rudy Giuliani, Mitt Romney, for opposing the amnesty agenda. This immigration issue, how big do you think it will be in this upcoming campaign?
It depends on what else is important at the moment. If Iraq is not resolved, that'll be there. The economic problems some people are going to experience will be significant, and immigration will depend on which state you're operating in.
Mm-hmm. Diana, do you think it's important that each candidate establish their position on immigration early and repeat it often?
Oh, absolutely. I think this is the great unfinished business of the Bush administration. And I found it absolutely outrageous that Mr. Martinez was chiding Republican frontrunner candidates for their positions on border security and against the comprehensive immigration reform, because that's something that Republican voters are supposed to decide on, not GOP chairman.
Yeah, it's an interesting power equation right there. And you know, the American public's pretty much uniform on their opinions about immigration. Miguel?
I gave Mr. Martinez a standing ovation. I thought it was terrific. Not only are Mr. Romney and Mr. Giuliani competing to take the hardest line against immigrants, but they're also competing to see who's the biggest hypocrite. Mr. Giuliani was pro-immigrant when he was mayor of New York, and Mr. Romney, when he was the governor of Massachusetts, allowed 3 cities to have similar policies as New York, also had illegal immigrants mowing his lawn.
Yeah.
but Mr. Martinez is not the arbiter of what constitutes a good Republican candidate. Mm-hmm. That's something that should go to the voters.
Mm-hmm. You know, we also have another behind-the-scenes player, not so behind-the-scenes player. Karl Rove was a big driving force behind the president's amnesty immigration bill. Now that he's resigning, what does that mean for President Bush's vision of this issue? Miguel, any thoughts on that?
What vision? I think it was all Karl Rove, and we're wondering what the president is going to do without his brain.
So there's a vacuum, you're saying. Diana?
Well, I've never bought into the brain notion, but I think that Karl Rove's legacy is a mixed legacy for conservatives, just as President Bush's legacy will be such a thing.
Mm-hmm. And Hank, the domestic agenda, I mean, the way some people call it, was set by Karl Rove. Do you think that's an overstatement? What do you think his absence will be?
That may be an overstatement. He's to be commended for electing his guy as president of the United States and doing that pretty significantly, not once but twice. The facts are, no one will remember Karl Rove's name next week. What they will remember is a Bush administration that couldn't get much done, almost to the end, and the Democrats and others in the House and the Senate are heaving a sigh of relief because immigration reform is now on the way back burner. So far out, they'll never find it.
Do you think that domestic policy will have a direction with Rove's absence?
Absolutely. Get through the next few months and then get on with the next presidency.
All right. Thank you very much for being with us and with your analysis.